I was running some numbers on CPF Life the other day and found something quite interesting. A number that no one really talks about. It can go up to about $150,000 based on the full retirement sum. If you're planning for retirement, this is something worth understanding. So stick around. I'll break it down and explain what it really means for you. Hi everyone, today I'm going to talk about the cost of risk pooling in CPF Life. Before I start, the standard disclaimer, this video is for educational and informational purposes. It's not meant to be financial advice and should never be taken as such. So with that done, let's get started. For this discussion, I'll be using the full retirement sum FRS figures from the CPF website. So based on this table, at age 55, if someone, let's call him A, sets aside the FRS of $213,000 in his retirement account at age 55, letting it compound at 4% per annum, this amount grows to $319,400. Then at 65, he will receive $1,730 per month for the rest of his life. For comparison, let's imagine another CPF member B who decides to manage this amount on his own and set up a portfolio to match the 4% return of CPF Life and withdraw the same $1,730 from it. Now let's plot this on a graph so that it's easier for everyone to see and compare. For member A, shown in the red line, starting from $319,000 and drawing $1,700 from it, it will take 184 months, about 15 years for it to reach zero. And that's just when A turns 80 years old. Now for B, with the self-managed 4% portfolio drawing the same $1,730 per month, it will take about 24 years when the person reaches 89 to fully deplete the portfolio and for it to reach zero. Now, for those who are wondering, how come B takes longer? This is because the 4% from the portfolio is added back to the principal amount, while for CPF Life, for A, the 4% return, right, is added to the common pool. This is the concept of risk pooling, and the difference between the two lines, which means the blue line and the red line, I'll simply call it the cost of risk pooling. Now, to understand this more clearly, let me perhaps tell a story. Let's just say that both A and B pass on at age 80. Now, since A has no more money in his retirement account, there's no money to pass on to his loved ones. However, for B, on the other hand, he will still have about $150,000 in his portfolio, which can then go into the estate. He can now distribute this to his family and loved ones. So this amount can actually be seen as a cost to A. Now, before any of my viewers decide to picket outside CPF board and shout, "Return my CPF!" Please understand two key points first. Number one, 150,000 is the maximum amount. Now, as you can see from the graph, or you can see in this slide down here, to the left or to the right of age 80, the difference between the two lines is actually smaller. And the second point, and I think this is the important one, A will continue to receive 1,730 per month for the rest of his life, even though the estate, right, will get nothing from age 80. B, on the other hand, at age 89, the 4% portfolio will be depleted, and after that, he gets nothing. So the 150,000 cost isn't really a fee or a charge. It's the amount that you give up in exchange for lifelong protection. So you trade a larger bequest for peace of mind. And that's what CPF Life is designed for. It's not about growing money. It is about making sure you never run out of income, no matter how long you live. That's the whole idea of risk pooling. Some people will pass away earlier, say 70 or 80. Others will live longer to 90 or even 100. The money from those who don't live as long will help fund those who do. This whole exercise also shows us the parameters that CPF board is using when planning CPF Life. Some of you probably realize by now that individual B is the hypothetical Singaporean older adult that's being used as a reference to determine the FRS amount and the monthly payout. So if life is fair, and every Singaporean adult at 55 this year pass on at 89, all of us will exactly die with 0. Now, this closely matches the overall life expectancy of Singaporeans of 83.5 for both males and females, with round about a 5% buffer. So how life expectancy works is that, theoretically, half will pass on before 83.5 and half will pass later, so they average out. So the CPF Life scheme, based on this calculation, is actually self-sustaining. And any talks or fears of big changes in the monthly payout amount, in my personal opinion, is largely overblown. In summary, all I wanted to do was to put a number to this cost of risk pooling to help people see it more clearly in dollar value terms. I'm not saying whether CPF Life or self-management is the better option. Everyone's situation is different, but I hope this gives you a clearer picture to help you plan your own retirement in a way that fits you the best. This concludes the second episode of my series on CPF. In the next one, I will look at the intangible trade-offs between CPF Life and a self-managed portfolio. I will also share the approach that I've chosen for me and my wife, which some of you may already know involves this concept of composite return, which was explained in my first video. I will leave a link below. Please like, subscribe, and share the channel to help me move this channel along, and I will see you in the next one.